There we are. There we are. There we are. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to you, everybody. We are in the P.I.L.L Method house this morning. On Clubhouse. But we're also live streaming on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn right now. So wherever you are, if you're on Clubhouse, if you're on LinkedIn, if you're watching us, or wherever you're watching us from, go ahead and check in. Put it in the chat. Say good morning and tell us where you're from. All right. If you're watching us online on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, go ahead and post a comment. Tell us who you are and where you are watching us from. This is going to be an exciting day. Listen, folks, I get these questions all the time. I was actually online this morning with a couple people from Australia. Okay. And they've been watching our program online for months. And they finally reached out and said, listen, they have over $1 million worth of property, putting it into the system, and they wanted to know how it worked. So what we're going to do, we're actually going to start breaking this down so that you can understand the basics of how to pay off a 30-year mortgage in just about 7 years. If there's anybody who wants to know how that, good morning to you, Barbara Powell Love. Listen, if you want to know how that works, put a number 9 in the chat. Put a number 9 in the chat if you want to say, what has the bank been doing to us to make a paying off a house take 30 years and pay enough money so that you buy a house for yourself and a house for the bank? Listen, if you want to know how that works, we're going to break it all down, how that works, and then we're going to learn how to save it. Chris Haywood says, good morning. All right, back again from New Mexico, Chris. Listen, Chris, I need you all to tell me, do you need to raise your hand to come up on stage, or do you just need to open up your mic? You tell me, because I'm not sure how this works anymore. So you tell me, do you need to raise your hand, or do you need to just open up your mic to come on stage? Write something in the chat for me so I can always give proper instruction. All right. So there's either a mic that you can unmic, all right, or you have a hand that you can raise. So tell me which one it is, somebody that is in the room right now, so I can give you good instruction. So let me see if I can tell by my instructions in the back end here. I can pin a link. I got background music. I can get game hand. Oh, okay. Hand raising. Okay. Yeah. Hand raising is on. I do see that. All right. So if you have your name in here and you have a ticket on your profile, that means you're not part of our club yet. You need to join. You need to join the club, and we're going to make sure that you get good service while you're here. I got a few more people online here, so let me go ahead and pin my link to the top right quick. And if you want to see our examples this morning, you know what you got to do, right? You just got to go over to YouTube and click on the live and get in. So let me put my link up to the top, ice10k.com. There you go. Now we have our link at the top, and everything is on that video card. My business card, my videos are there. If you want to become an affiliate, is there. If you want to buy my book, it's there. If you want to know the month, day, and year you could be debt free and get a savings report, it's there. Okay. We don't charge for those savings reports. We don't. So if you want to, Armin is here. Good morning, Armin. Haven't seen you in a while, man. And he's checking in from Palatine, Illinois. All right, folks, where are you from? And so Letitia Cooper, she says it's a hand. Okay. So folks, here's what I want you to do. All right. You can listen from anywhere. You can listen from the listening lounge, or you can listen from the stage. If you listen from the stage, you actually bring, Strategic Secrets is here this morning as well online, says good morning. If you're listening from the stage, just raise your hand and we can bring you up to the stage and you can listen from there. You don't have to talk. But guess what? If you do that, then what you're doing is you're bringing all of the people with you. They see, like Sabrina has 62 followers. Okay. If Sabrina comes to the stage and listens from there, all her 62 followers will be notified that she's in this room getting good information. Let me see here. I've got Chris. Chris, you've been here before. Let me invite you up to the stage. You don't have to say anything if you don't want to, but just come on up and listen from here. And when you do, let me see here. Chris Haywood, you've got 26 followers. They will be notified. Let me see who else is. Jeffrey's been here before. Let me invite Jeffrey up to speak. Jeffrey, come on up to the stage. People will see your profile. Jeffrey, how are you this morning? Okay, I hear you on mic, Jeff. Can you talk?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. Thank you for being here. So, what brings you to this room this morning?
I can't talk right now, but I'm always listening to what you have to say. It's always good information.
All right, good, man. All right. Well, I appreciate you being here. You can just go on mute and listen from the stage. Anybody else that wants to listen from the stage, raise your hand right now, and you can listen from the stage. Okay, raise your hand right now and listen from the stage so that we can go over how to pay off 30-year mortgages. All right, in just 7 years, but we want to break it down from the very beginning. Now, here's what you need to know about these loans. The interest rate has always been a liar. Interest rate has always been a liar. It's about interest cost. How much does it cost to manage my loan? All right. So when you're talking about getting a loan at a particular interest rate, or if you're talking about whether it should be a 30-year loan, a 15-year loan, or whatever, all of that matters in how you pay the loan back. Now, there's a lot of talk about how to get this money, how to put yourself in a position to get a mortgage, how you can maybe save a little money by, putting a large down payment down. We're going to be talking about some of that today, about how to get a mortgage and how to deal with it. But what you need to understand is this. I want to ask this question. Why does it take 7 years to pay off a $200,000 car, but it takes 30 years to pay off a $200,000 house? Can anybody tell me why that is? Why is it that you have to pay off a $200,000 car in 7 years, but it takes 30 years to pay off a $200,000 house? Here's one thing I do know. You can't get a 30-year loan on a car. It doesn't exist. No way, no how. But you can get a 30-year loan on a house. What in the world is going on here, folks? Has that thought ever crossed your mind? All right. All right. Sabrina Kelly says, I'd love to come up, but I can only listen. But that's okay. You can come up and listen from the stage, Sabrina. So come on up. Come on up. Raise your hand. You don't have to say a word. All right. I'm going to invite you up. You don't have to say anything. All right. Just listen from the stage. All right. And as you do, guess what? Your 62 followers will be notified that you are here on our stage, and then they may come in and get some of this information too. How come it takes 7 years to pay off a $200,000 car, but 30 years to pay off a house? Because of how these loans are amortized, how they're constructed. And number two is how we are educated about these loans. Just somehow it's been put in us that it takes 30 years to pay off a house. And I'm telling you, folks, it's not true. Here's the next thing that's not true. Somebody called me the other day and said, I see on your video where we had a couple pay off their mortgage in 6.5 years. And the guy says, well, because he's a realtor, He's probably making $500,000 a year. Of course he could pay it off. I told him, I said, listen, don't believe that. You don't need extra money to get out of debt. You need to pay a whole lot less interest. All right. And what was going on here is that this particular realtor, his wife is a teacher. They were just out of college, and it was in 2008, in the height of the recession. So what, they weren't making a whole lot of money. All right. It was the height of the recession. Housing sales were way down. So I showed them how to use the money that they already have so that they can pay a lot less interest by manipulating the bank system. You can be in charge of that system. You don't have to do it their way. All right, so let me show you some of the basics here. So if you want to see what we're talking about, folks, you want to go to YouTube and check in there and see. So good morning, Strategic Secrets. Let's see who else do I see. I see Linda. It says, Linda Medlock says, yes, I wondered that. All right. All right. So let's see. And let me see, Chris Haywood is in here. Barbara Powell. All right. Definitely need to hear this discussion from Sabrina. Good morning, everybody. So let me go ahead and start putting some stuff on the screen so that you can understand the basics of the P.I.L.L method. P.I.L.L stands for prepayment of principal, isolating the principal amount, leverage, and liquidity. So we're going to put Mr. Brett Whistle on our screen here and move him over there. And we're going to share the screen. All right. And there we go. Let's see here. Excuse me. And I'm still getting over my cold, but you know, it's just about all gone. It's just about all gone. All right. And let's see. We're going to share the screen. There we are. All right. Share that one. Nope. Share this one. Screen 3. All right. So I'm going to put in a $300,000 mortgage. $300,000 mortgage at 6%. And there we go. Kurt, you just let me know in the back if you're having trouble. Kurt is out of the country, and he already let me know that his internet isn't the strongest. So if you have any problems, Kurt, you just let me know. And I, you've taught me enough. I can push a couple of buttons. All right, man. So, all right. So we've got $300,000. All right. At 6%, payment is $1,798.65. Let's talk about prepayment of principal first. Okay. Prepayment of principal first. What does that mean? When you prepay principal, that means anytime you give the bank money, anytime you have made a full mortgage payment, any other money you give to the bank in the same month is called a prepayment. Any other money you give to the bank is called a prepayment. Now, let me explain where this other money is going to come from. If you track your income, and you track your spending, track your income and track your spending, then you will be able to see how much money you have left over after paying all of your bills. I see Troy. We got Troy here. Good morning to you, Troy. How are you doing, sir?
Good morning, Don. I am well.
All right. All right. Good to see you this morning, sir. Good to see you.
Likewise.
All right. And so what we're talking about, folks, is understanding your money. Most people I talk to, no matter what they do for a living, they do not track how much they're making and how much they're spending. And Troy, you're in the insurance business. Okay. And being in the insurance business, and you've spoken to a lot of people over the years, isn't that right, Troy?
Correct.
Okay. And when you're talking to people and you ask them how much are they making, How many people can tell you how much they're making without looking?
Very few.
Very few. And this, listen,
Yes.
folks, this is money that they're making either weekly or bi-weekly or monthly, however they get paid. And Troy's asking them, how much money do you make? And they say about this much without, and they don't even know without looking. And then you'll say, Troy, do you know what your expenses are? Very few people know what their expenses are. Do you know what
Right.
your discretionary income is? Meaning, how much money is left over after all the bills are paid? And Troy, how many people have actually told you they have no money left?
Majority of them.
The majority of them.
Yep.
And listen, folks. And so I had a lady tell me that once, and she asked, well, what if you don't have any discretionary income? What if you don't have anything left over? So what we did is we sent her a budget sheet. And on that budget sheet, it required her to put in her income. So she had to look it up, put in her income. And then we put in some memory joggers on this sheet. How much you pay for food each month? How much are you paying for electricity, water, gasoline, insurance? And we got all these categories: TV, telephone. And she filled out all the categories. All right. And then but it took her a long time to get that back to me, Troy. Okay. I thought I could get it back in that same day. And she didn't get back to us for 2 or 3 days. So when she got it back to us, I asked, how come it took you so long? She says, I had to fill that thing out 3 different times. I said, well, why is that? She said, because after I paid up all of my bills, this sheet was telling me I had $2,000 left over. Troy, how many times have you seen something exactly like that, where people had a massive amount of money left over, but they thought they had nothing left?
All the time. And you know, a couple things to that point, Don. There's a free app called Mint that people can track their spending. They can connect their bank accounts and they can track their spending. And then there's another one called Rocket that they can track their subscriptions. But one of the things that I was trained was to find the money. So first I get a commitment, to a person. Are they serious about this? And then I can find money, and we'll find money. We'll look at their auto insurance, their homeowners insurance, look at their deductibles, look at their cell phones, see if they're paying extra on their cell phones. There's different areas where we can find money. Or do you have a lot of unused subscriptions? There's an app called privacy.com, which is free, that you can connect your card to this privacy.com. And if you get a free trial for something, and you forget about it and you get charged, well, you can set it up so when it's over with, it's not your card is not charged, and that's another free app. So just different ways to help people to monitor their expenses.
Exactly, folks. And listen, I talk to accountants, I talk to bankers. Okay. I talk to people who help other people with their finances. And these folks don't even know how much they're making and how much they're spending. They do it for other folks. They just don't do it for themselves. Okay. So, do you have people from all walks of life that are your clients, right, Troy?
Yes.
Any bankers?
No bankers.
No bankers. How about teachers?
Yes.
How about accountants?
No accountants.
How about people who do taxes?
Yes.
Okay. So we got people who are you do have people who work with other people's money, and those people who work with other people's money, they don't even do what they're asking their customers to do, are they?
Sometimes that's true.
Sometimes that's true, folks. So if you are in that boat, most people are in that boat where they're not tracking their spending and their income. And let me tell you the biggest reason why. Do you remember, some of you remember having a checking account even before debit cards got popular, having a checking account. And then when you write a check, you recorded that check in your check register. So you always knew how much money was in your checking account. When debit cards came in for a reason, so people could lose track of how much money they have in the bank. So if you have so what the banks did is that they started using email and texting. So when your bank account gets to a certain point, when it gets low enough, you'll get an email or a text telling you move some money from your savings over to your checking, because you have preset that when my checking account gets down to $500, gets down to $100, gets down to $1,000, where you have it preset, you will get an email saying it has hit a certain point, put more money in. This is some of the main reasons why we lose track of how much money we have. So once you know how much money you have left over, then you can say, oh, I've got money left over after all my bills are paid. And do you know what's also exciting about that? You can actually put into your budget how much money we want to spend on just having some fun each month. That can be part of your budget, and you can still have quite a bit of money left over. So managing your debt, managing your expenses, managing your income is called budgeting. And when you budget, it doesn't mean you have to restrict yourself in anything. You can tell your budget how much you want to spend on you. How about that? You can become your very first item on your budget. How much you want to spend on you each month? And then list the rest of your bills. And you can still have money left over. What if you took that money that was left over and said, okay, I want to put that in the bank. Just put that in the bank, build up a bank account, and then use that money that's in the bank account to kill some interest. Let me show you what would happen if you did that. So we've got $300,000 on this mortgage at 6%. Let's learn first what prepayment of principal looks like. So Troy, I've got about $1,000 left over. Let's say I have about $1,000 left over after all my bills are paid, and after I've already contributed to my long-term savings. I got contributed to my long-term savings, and I've got about $1,000 left over, and now I'm putting that in the bank. It doesn't take long at all to get $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 built up, correct? In that savings account.
Not with $1,000.
No, not with $1,000. And so, so Troy, in the folks that you deal with, do most people have between $500 and $1,000 left over after you've helped them with their budget?
No.
Do they have less than that or more than that?
Less than that.
They have less than that. Okay.
Correct.
All right. So here's what we're going to do first. Okay. Now, I believe in, I wasn't going to go here, but because of the people that we're dealing with have less than that. Okay. Here's what I've done. And I believe in this wholeheartedly. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Do you realize that people who do not have a vision, what does the Bible say about people without a vision? Anybody? Okay.
Perish.
They perish if you don't have a vision. Do you know I actually write down, because I also read in the Bible, write the vision, make it plain. So I not only have a vision, but I write it down. Okay. So in my vision, all right, most of my clients have $1,000 left over or more. Most of them. Why is that? Because that's who I want to attract to my business. I write it down. I focus there. Do I get people who make less than who have less than $1,000 left over? Yeah, I do. But the ones that are under $1,000 are pretty close to $1,000 left over, somewhere between 500 and 1,000. They have that much money left over. because that's who I attract. That's what I write down. That's what I expect. So when people look at my videos and they come to me for help, most of the people that I'm looking for, those are the people who are attracted to me and my videos and my book. All right. Did I tell them to call me? No, I did not. But do I expect those people to call and to email and to text us? I expect it, and it happens.
And they already know.
Listen,
there's no surprise to them.
Exactly. Do you see what I'm saying? So I'm looking for that. I'm writing it down. I'm expecting that. And if you're in business today and you don't write down how much money you want to come into your household every month, you're making a huge mistake. If you're not writing down the type of client you want to serve, who's that person that you want to serve? If you're not writing it down, you're making a huge mistake. Folks, you can't hit a target you're not aiming for. Aim for the target and you'll hit it. So listen, it's not enough to write down, I want to make more money. Okay? Because Troy, if I'm making $5,000 a month and next month I make $5,001, is that more money?
Yes.
Okay. So listen, folks, you asked for more money and you got it, but you weren't specific. How much money do you want to have come in? Write it down. And here's what I'm going to encourage you to do. Write down a number big enough so that you know it wasn't just you. It wasn't just the skill set that you currently have. It wasn't the knowledge base that you currently have that can make that kind of money. Write that number down, that you'll have to stretch yourself. You'll have to learn some things. You're going to have to become a new person to be able to make that kind of money. When you write that down, God will do some things in your life so that you can become that person. That's why without a vision, you perish. You're either growing or you're dying. There's no such thing as remaining the same. You're either living or you're dying. You're either growing or you're shrinking. There is no, I'm going to stay the same. There's no such thing as that. So, folks, let's get on the track where we are actually improving life and living life to the fullest. Okay, so let me ask you, I'm going to ask everybody here that's listening to me right now. Do you want to live up to your full potential? 100% of your potential. Put a number 9 in the chat if you want to live up to your full potential. Put it in there right now. Number 9 in the chat. Okay? Number 9 in the chat if you want to live up to your full potential. Okay? Because anybody who doesn't want to live up to their full potential, let's say you want to live up to 90%. Can I have your 10%? Let's say you want to live up to 50% of your potential. Can I have your 50% that you're not using? Okay. Listen, the number 9s are coming in. I want to live up to my full potential. And what we're talking about, folks, is a mindset. So what we're here is, don't think that stop thinking about, I don't have enough money. Start thinking about, how do I get the money that I need? How do I get the money that I want? How do I get the things that I want? How do I get the self-assurance that I want? How do I get the job that I want? How do I get the business that I want? How do I get those things that I want? Write it down. Write it down, and you'll be amazed at how many opportunities that you'll start to see that you didn't see before, because now you're tuned in You're tuned in to those things that are going to help you to reach your goal. Are you going to get there overnight? Absolutely not, because it's a process. It's a process. Come on, folks. It's a process of what we're doing in this thing. So if you start here, write some things down and start living up to that. Did you know that but some of the things that are going to happen to you is, oh, you're going to overhear a conversation. Somebody's going to mention a book that's going to help you. You're going to be listening to something and then find out there's a podcast that's going to help you to do whatever. You're going to find out by listening that somebody is saying something that's going to teach you what you need to know, and you can ask a few questions. Somebody may even come into your life that may be a mentor to you. You know, there's a saying that says, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. I know for a fact, without even asking, somebody is in this room today, listening to me right now, that has been praying for, looking for a better way to handle their finances. I already know that. I don't know who you are, but I know you're in here right now listening because you've been praying for, you've been asking for, you've been looking for, you've probably already been researching for a better way to eliminate your debt or to handle your finances. You were looking for it. And some of you are here by accident. In this room, it says, you didn't plan to be here, but you are here because you asked for that information. Some of you saw that we had this up yesterday and said, you know what, let me RSVP because that's exactly what I've been looking for. Once you write it down, once you start looking for it, okay, once you get focused in on what you want to happen in your life, you start to notice the information that you are looking for. So let's start there. Let's say we've got people who have started to manage their finances. They're making more than enough money to pay their bills, and they're putting a little bit aside in the savings account. Watch this. Our mortgage payment here is $1,798.65. Out of that money, only $298.65 goes to principal, paying down the loan. $1,500 in interest to do that. $1,500 in interest they're paying. All right. I see you, Alan. I'm sorry. I've been talking. I've been running off at the mouth. Let's invite you up here. So you don't have to speak, but you can if you want to. Oh, okay. Well, you listen, anybody who wants to come to the stage, they don't have to talk. All right. Just come up and just sit on the stage if you want. All right. Just come up and sit on the stage. You don't have to talk. All right, folks. So here's what we're talking about. All right. If we do this, if we make our mortgage payment, any money that you put on in this same month goes straight to principal. I'm going to pick out this number. Do you see on month 2 here, $300.14? If you're new to the room and you want to see what I'm doing, if you want to see this example, get your other phone out, your laptop or your tablet, go to YouTube, search P.I.L.L method. All right, search P.I.L.L method and click on the live, and you'll be let into this live feature so that you can see these numbers. All right. So I made my mortgage payment. And because I've been tracking my income and tracking my outgo, I've been putting some money away in my savings account. And let's say I have at least $300.14 in my savings account. Do you realize if I take that $300.14 that I see on line 2 of this amortization schedule, okay? Line 2 of the amortization schedule. I could take that out of the bank and apply it to principal. I can give it to the bank in the same month. And if I do, all this money, all $300.14 goes to principal. I'm immediately paid down to line 2. That's called a prepayment. Okay? When I prepay $300.14 on this loan, I eliminate line 2 from the mortgage. Line 2 is gone. Okay, I have 360 payments listed here. But if I give the bank this $300.14 early, now I only have 359 monthly payments because I've gotten rid of line 2, not for the $1,798 the bank was looking for, but I got rid of it for only $300.14. I'm paid down to line 2, and my next mortgage payment for the next month has already dropped down to line 3 on my schedule. Line 2 is gone. So if line 2 is gone, what happens to this $1,498.51 in interest the bank wanted to charge me on line 2? It has been canceled. I don't have to pay that that's almost $1,500 in interest I don't have to pay. Let me make it a little clearer. The bank wants from me on this loan of $300,000 at 6%, the bank wants $347,514 in interest over 30 years. That's just the interest alone. By the time I pay off the $300,000 that I borrowed and the $347,000 plus dollars that they want in interest, the bank wants me to pay them back a total of $647,514. That's the true cost of that house. Is there anybody in here that wants to pay $647,000 for a $300,000 house? Okay. Do you want to pay $647,000 for a $300,000 house? Tell me yes or no right now. Steve Mack says no. No. Okay. No, they don't. No, they don't. If you're online, put a no in. So Chris Hayward says no. No, I don't want to do that. I do not want to do that. So if I prepay just $300.14, I reduce this interest cost by $1,498.51. Quill Cobb says no. Cora Williams says no. Listen, most people are totally unaware of what happens when you prepay. Most people do not know, because of how this thing is set up, if I give the money to the bank that the bank was looking for, if I give it to them early, I do not have to pay the interest on this line. So Troy says no means no. Wanda G says no in capital letters with 3 exclamation points. Okay. So here's what we're talking about. If you pay this mortgage here on line 1, we're talking about prepayment now. We're talking about prepayment. Let's say you've been saving up your money for a while and you have, let's say you have $5,000 in the bank. That means that if you take a look at making your mortgage payment and looking at the next 3 principal payments, see, when people talk about doubling up the mortgage payment, they're thinking about doubling up on the whole $1,798. Well, that's a lie, because most of this money is interest. That's called rent on your money. This is not mortgage payment. The interest portion is not mortgage payment. How do I know? Because mortgage has to do with the money you borrowed. You borrowed $300,000. In other words, you're renting the bank's $300,000, and as you give it back to them, they charge you rent every single month. So if you give it back to them early, you don't have to pay all of the rent. It's just simple math. So the interest portion is really not mortgage payment. It's rent. Mortgage payment has to do with the principal line only, because this is the money that you borrowed over here. Okay. So if you want to double up on a mortgage payment or triple up on a mortgage payment, make your mortgage payment and then look at how many principal payments you can pay. Look at this. So if we did the next 3, that's $300.14, $301.64, $303. That's $304 and some change. $304, almost $305. $305. Let's call it $305. I'm sorry, $905. That's 369, $905. Okay. If you make your regular mortgage payment and prepay this $905, guess what happens? You knock out this interest cost of $14.98, this one of $14.97, and this one, that's nearly $4,500 in interest you never have to pay because you gave the bank $900 out of your savings account that was just sitting there making 0.1% interest. That's called prepayment. That's the basics here. Now, let's look at the I of P.I.L.L method, which means isolating the principal amount. For every client, whether it is an individual, whether it's a family, whether it's a business, whether it's a church, however you have your loan, okay, you have a certain financial makeup. And with that makeup, then there is an algorithm that we have developed in our AI system, our artificially intelligent system, that says, based on your financial makeup, you can take money out, this much money out of savings, and apply it to the debt in this month on this day of the month. That's called isolating the principal amount. Isolating it, meaning out of all the money that you have available, this is the amount that you look for. When you're isolating that amount, guess what you're looking for? You're looking for the highest amount you can put on the debt or the least amount. Let me tell you, listen, without you having to guess, when you're isolating the principal amount, the program is looking for the least amount of money you have available at that time. Out of all the money you have available, the least amount to put on the debt. That's it. The least amount. Not the most, but the least. Because people say, I'm saving up all this money. I don't want to give all my money away to put on the debt. And to be truthful, that would be ridiculous. You don't want to do that. What is the least amount I can put on? Now, why is the program looking for the least amount? Isolating the least amount. Now we get to leverage. When you get leverage, here's what you're looking for. What is the minimal amount of effort I can put into something to get a maximum return? Okay, so if you had to lift a 500-pound weight using your own strength, most of us couldn't do it. Okay, that's using your own strength. That's 1-to-1, your strength against the 500-pound weight. Now, put one pulley into it. So you've got a rope, you're sticking it through a pulley, and you've got it attached to that 500-pound weight, and you start pulling on that rope. When you start pulling on that rope, that's called a mechanical advantage. By doing that, you increase the amount of weight you can lift with a minimum amount of effort. If you put a series of pulleys together the right way, you can now with one hand lift a 500-pound weight with minimal effort. So that's called a mechanical advantage. What is the least amount of effort I can put in to lift the maximum amount of weight? So when it comes to your money, you want to know what's the least amount of money I have to pay to get the most interest saved per dollar. Let me show you what that means by putting a calculator on the screen. Okay, so we're talking today, how do we pay off a mortgage in 7 years? How do we pay off a mortgage in 7 years? Right now, you're in the P.I.L.L Method Club. The P.I.L.L Method House. They've changed all the houses to all the clubs, the houses now. You're in the Pill Method house. Today, we're talking about how to pay off mortgages in 30 years, but we're talking about the bare basics of how our program works and how it all gets done. Okay, so we're talking about prepayment of principal. We're talking about isolating the principal amount. And now we're talking about leveraging so that we can find the smallest amount of money that can save us the most in interest. Watch what I'm doing here. If we just learned that if I make my mortgage payment here and I can give the bank the next 3 principal payments, I can knock off these payments and these interest payments, and my next mortgage payment will be actually on line 5. That would be payment number 2. Line 5 would actually move up. If I give the bank this extra $900 and change, I knock off nearly, excuse me, $4,500 in interest I never have to pay. Knock off 3 payments I never have to make, and my next mortgage payment is on line 5. All right, let me get a drink of water here. All right, so we've just learned that. What would happen if we take a look at 1 year on this mortgage? 1 year on this mortgage. Principal payments, cumulative principal, and cumulative interest. 1 year on this mortgage means that on line 12, I will pay this loan down by $3,684. And the bank will want from me $17,899.80. I think that's a ridiculous number. Who wants, this is a payment you can afford. It's a house that you want. You can easily make this payment, but still, who wants to pay nearly $18,000 in interest just to pay the loan down by $3,684? That is ridiculous. We only do that because we have been taught to do this. We haven't been taught how to do it in a better way. Okay? If any of you have a question about any of this, come up, raise your hand, ask a question. I'll be able to take your question and go over this. So I'm looking right now, but I'm not seeing any hands raised. So I guess I don't have any questions right now. So here's what we're doing. We now have this. Let's take a look at 1 year on this thing. Here's my next question to you. Since we've learned what we've learned so far, folks, I'm going to pay this loan down by $3,684 in 1 year. I already know that because I can see it. That's all the principal payments added up. Do we have to give the bank this $3,684 over 12 monthly installments? Do we have to make 12 payments to get here? Do I have to give this money to them in 12 monthly installments? Let me see if I got any answers here. Steve Mack says no. I don't have to give it to them in 12 monthly installments. I don't have to. Okay? If I want to, if I had it, because I saved up some money, because I started tracking my income and my outgo, and I have a few $1,000s saved up. If I had it, I could put $3,684 on this loan on line 1. On line 1. And I could be paid down to line 12 in 1 month. That means I skip all the interest payments between line 2 and line 12. Instead of paying my loan down by $3,684 and giving the bank $17,899, I will only have to give them $1,500. That's it. $1,500 instead. How about that? That means I'll save about $1,600 in interest. Over $1,600 in interest I don't have to pay. How about that? Okay, so if I bring up my calculator and say, instead of giving the bank all of this, let me just pay them that and save a ton of interest. So we have $1,600 16 416.64. Okay. And I divide it by the 3684, divided by 3684, okay, equals $4.45, 4.456, or $4.46 in interest for every dollar I put on. Every dollar I put on here, at this point, I save $4.46 in interest. Has anybody ever showed you guys that? Isn't that powerful to know that there is a way to figure out how much interest I can save per dollar? Let me show you what would happen. Now that's on line 12, $4.46. What if we had a few more $1,000 in the bank? What if we had about 10,000? What if we had about 10,000? It would be possible for me to pay line 24, where I have $7,595.26. Okay. I have about that much money that I could put down. I don't have to pay it over 24 months. I can put that down in 1 month. If I put that down in 1 month, look to see what happens. Look at that. That means I would eliminate all the interest payments between line 2 and line 24. Instead of giving the bank $35,000 in interest just to pay it down by $7,500, I'm still only giving them $1,500 to do it. Look at that. That's a big difference. If I do it the bank's way, I got to give them $35,000 in interest just to get down to here. Just to pay off 2 years worth of my mortgage, doing it their way, I have to give them $35,000 in interest. Do you believe that's too much to pay? 35 grand in interest, 35.5 just to pay this loan down by 7,500. Now, Steve Mack says, yeah, that's way too much. That's way too much money. Way too much money. If you're new to the room and you want to see this, what we're putting on here, go to YouTube on a secondary device. Your extra phone. You can have another tablet, your laptop, whatever. Go to YouTube, search P.I.L.L method, and you can see the examples I'm putting on the screen. Okay, look at that. Look at that. Savings 35, almost. Look at this, $34,000 in interest saved. That is huge. 34 grand in interest saved. That is huge. Oh my goodness. I get the same results. Paid down by this much money, but I don't have to give them 35 grand. I only have to give them the amount of interest on line 1. $1,500. Now let's do that. Let's do that math again. Let me bring up my calculator. Remember, if I prepay the 3684, then my interest savings are right around $4.46. Okay, that is how much interest I'm saving per dollar. But if I put this amount down, I'm going to save 35 grand. Let's see what happens. Okay, 34,108. I'm getting the number from right here. 34,108.64. But I prepaid $75.95.26. So we're going to prepay. Okay, we're going to divide it by 75.95.26. There we are. Equals 4.49. Not even $4.50. So I'm saving $4.56 before, and now I'm only saving $4.49 per dollar. The amount of interest I could save per dollar has gone down. No one at the bank is going to show you that. Meaning you need only to put the right amount. What is the least amount that I could put down on this loan so that I could save the maximum amount of interest per dollar? How do I make every one of my dollars that I'm putting on work the hardest? Right now, the dollars that I'm putting on are less effective because I'm putting on more money at the wrong time. That's called violating the law of diminished return. Why is that important? Why should we just put all the money we can on the debt just to eliminate the debt? Here's why. Because you're missing an opportunity. It's called opportunity cost. Write it down. Opportunity cost. You see, there is a maximum amount of money that you can save with the amount of money that you have. Once you reach that maximum amount you can save, then you should be looking at taking the rest of your money and putting it into some sort of investment so you can make interest. See, when the amount of interest that you could save per dollar starts to go down, stop putting money towards debt reduction. Take the rest of that money and put it towards wealth creation so that you're using your extra money to make money and using your money to save money at the same time. Our program will help you to determine how much money should be going to savings and how much money should be going to interest. So tomorrow, on Sunday, we are going to be doing a part 2 of the show that we started on Wednesday of 40-year mortgages, why I like them. And we're going to combine that with a savings tool and a money-making tool where you can invest and make money, listen to this, tax-free. Make money tax-free and an investment that is, go ahead.
I want to say, y'all that listening in, don't miss that meeting on Sunday. I won't be able to make it because of church, but don't miss that because it's very powerful. So make sure you be there on Sunday.
Okay. So the reason why I could do it on Sunday, Troy, because I go to church on Saturday. Okay. So yeah, because if the meeting was tomorrow, I wouldn't be there either. Okay.
Understood.
So listen, we understand you. Thank you for your service, my brother. Okay. So here's what we're talking about, folks. We're talking about for Troy, for the folks that can't be there on Sunday. Will you tell them a little bit about, now I've talked about how we can take our money, where we can get our extra money from by tracking our income. You talked about it we've got extra money going out on things like subscriptions and stuff that we've forgotten about and we're paying every month, but we forget, and we can recover that money. So we're tracking our income, we're tracking our outgo. We understand how prepayment of principal works. We understand it is important to get the right amount of money by isolating the principal amount and putting it on the debt. We're also finding out that when we put too much money towards debt reduction, we're losing the ability and the opportunity to make money through compounded interest. Now, can you talk a little bit about how we can make money through compound interest tax-free? Can you talk us to a little bit about it on that while I get a drink of water here?
Yeah. So what Don is saying is another strategy is taking the money and put it in what we call a cash value life insurance policy, mostly a whole life policy. And it's not your standard whole life policy. It's a whole life policy that's going to pay dividends. And so the reason being is because there's only 3 areas that you can have what they call tax never account. Matter of fact, I'm doing a room today.
Wait.
Yeah.
Tax never?
Correct.
Come on now, talk about it.
All right. So there's 3 buckets: tax now, tax later, and tax never. And there's only 3 areas that you're allowed legally to put money in tax never, and that's some municipal bonds, Roth IRA, and cash value life insurance. And if you go look it up, you can go look up the IRS code 7702 T. It explains that you can put cash value in a life insurance policy, and it would grow tax-deferred compound interest. Also, another thing, if you don't believe how important it is, go look at the major banks' balance sheet. If you reach out to me, I can actually find the information for you. You will see that many banks have so much millions of dollars in cash value life insurance. That's how important it is. But anyway, so it allows you to build cash and compound. And the way you get around paying taxes on this tax never is you borrow from your own money using a cash value life insurance policy. That's it in a nutshell. If you got more questions, reach out to me and I can get you more information on that. But that's what Don is talking about, taking that money, putting in the cash value life insurance and using that while it's building cash if it's a whole life policy. And then you also have, they call IULs, two different type of cash value type of policies. But also with the cash value policy, you can take the money out as a loan and buy whatever you want. It's your money, it's your cash, and you can use it how you see fit, pay off that debt, invest in some real estate, however you want to. Don, I hope that gave some insight on that. But my name is Troy, and I'm done speaking.
It most certainly did, Troy. In fact, and you mentioned IULs. So we have a doctor on our program, and with the extra money, he's going to be able to pay off his mortgage in under 10 years. Okay. Over $1 million. Okay. But he had more money available. All right. And because of his situation, he got a little bit behind on what he wanted to contribute to his retirement account. So since he had so much money left over, a high value client, all right, he has high income. Instead of putting him in a whole life policy, we put him in an IUL. And he's overfunding that thing by about $5,000 a month. Okay, so he's making money. And he is, because it's an IUL, you have to be careful with IULs, and we can get into that later, why you have to be careful with an IUL, because the insurance after a few years can get so expensive, it eats up your cash value. But if you're a high value person and you're making a lot of money, this IUL will actually work better for you than whole life. So anyway, here's what we're talking about.
That's true, Don. That's
okay.
So true. With that, because the whole life to give you guarantees, whereas the IUL won't give you the guarantees, but the IUL allows you to the money to grow and compound more. So that's kind of what you got to figure out which ones you best for you, and what's your are you conservative, you aggressive, and things like that. But like Don said, he can what they call max fund, overfund, and so you really want to make it work. You got to do more than the minimum in these policies. If it's not, then it's a waste of time, and it's not wise to do the minimum.
Exactly, folks. So here's what we want you to know, that even though we help people to get out of their debt in 7, 9, 8, 9, 10 years, okay, we're helping them to get out. We're not using all of their money, if they have a lot of money left over, just to get out of debt. That's the wrong thing to do. You're missing out on opportunities. That's why it's called opportunity cost. Now, to come up with the right amount of money going to your life insurance or your investment, and the right amount of money that's going to save money in interest, okay, to save money in interest, then you have to do a calculation called critical point analysis. Critical point analysis. What is that break point? What is in your timeline, in your money line, there's a point at which more is too much. Okay. We can get that thing all the way down, not just to $1, but to a penny. When I put X amount of dollars on and I put 1 penny more on, we can get it down to the exact penny you don't need to put towards debt reduction anymore. Start putting the rest of the money towards wealth creation. This is the kind of computing power that exists now with the Pill Method AI system. All right. And I'm going to stop right here. We're going to do a quick reset. You're in the Pill Method Club. And if you want to know more about what we're talking about, folks, how to manage your money, how to make the right choices, how you can have a systematic way of saving money, killing interest, killing debt, and making money with compound interest, then all you need is a savings and earnings report to get started. Go to my 10K card up above. We're going to put it on the screen as well. Go to my 10K card up above, ice10k.com, and click on that link. And when you're clicking on that link, ladies and gentlemen, you can then find out, there's a button there that says get a savings and earnings report. Okay. Now, I know Kurt may be struggling with his internet where he is right now. He may not be able to put it on. So I'll wait for a second and see if I can click a few buttons and bring it up. Oh, he's making some changes already. I see it. Okay. So now you want to go to ice10k.com and click on that link that says get a savings and earnings report. Once you click that link, fill out all the information in there. Okay. And we can tell you on your mortgage, your student loans, your credit cards, put all of it in, leave nothing out. The more, the better. And you can know the month, day, and year you can be debt free and how much interest you can save. Why is learning about how much interest you can save important? Number one, a small percentage of the interest saved pays for your lifetime program. So you don't have to pay for it. We're going to show you how to make your bank pay for your program. And then the next thing we're going to be talking about is what can you do with the money that's left over? What can you do with the money that's left over when you put that money into some sort of investment tool like cash value life insurance? And we're going to see why we call it life insurance instead of death insurance. Cash value life insurance is something you can use while you're living. Most people have death insurance that no one can use it until after you die. Okay? That's death insurance. We're talking about cash value life insurance that you can actually use while you're living. All right. So now once you get that done, you can get your savings and earnings report. The information that we're talking about here, you're only going to get from the Pill Method. You're only going to get that here. And the basics of this information is in my book, The Pill Method, A Better Way to Eliminate Debt. Click on that link and you'll also see how you can get the book. All right. So get the book today. Get the book today and start reading and start learning and start teaching. All right. So you can get the basics and understand it. So you can have it in your hot little hand. Okay. Once you get that and you have a savings and earnings report, you may decide that you want to do business with us. Okay. You may want to do business with us and find out how you can optimize all of your information. Our program will guide you to zero debt, the cheapest way possible. The best possible loan you can get, folks, is to pay no interest at all. 0% interest. How would you like to have a 30-year loan at 0% interest? In fact, I've done a show before where we've done a mortgage. We call it our virtual 0% interest mortgage, virtually. Okay. We make sure that you can virtually have a 0% interest mortgage by saving so much interest and taking that money and investing it is actually better than zero. We're going to show you how to get every single dime of interest you've ever paid anywhere how to get that money back through interest savings and then investing that money and getting compound interest and making more money with saved interest than you've ever paid in your life. Get it all back. Oh my goodness. We need to do another show on that. Okay. So here's the last thing I want to share with you. We've been giving out a lot of good information lately, And some of you are so excited, you want to share this with other people. We're going to show you in just a couple of minutes here how by just sharing the P.I.L.L method through our affiliate program, you can make about $3,000 monthly. What? Just because becoming an affiliate. Here's how it works, folks. Go to the 10K card, click on it. It takes about 15 seconds to become an affiliate. And what you want to do is we're looking for people with at least $100,000 in debt and a mortgage. Okay. If they have that, then they qualify as a referral for us. Okay. Then you just find someone who is interested in paying off their debt in a better way. There are a lot of people that are already looking. Do not try to convince someone who is satisfied with what they're already doing. Don't even bother. If they're satisfied, leave them alone. If they're not satisfied, show them how they can get to this better way. Bring them to our YouTube channel. Direct them to P.I.L.L Method YouTube channel. Watch some videos and then follow up with them in 48 hours. Once you follow up with them on the same card, ice10k.com, there's another button on there that says refer a friend. Fill that out for them. Put their information in. Put your name and phone number in as the referring partner. You're the one who referred them, and then send that to us. Once they become a client, that first one you send us, if they qualify, we'll send you $300. Send us a second one in a month, we'll send you $400 for that one. Send us a third one in the month, we'll send you $500 for that one. Send us a fourth one in the month and they become a client, we'll send you $600 for that one. And here's the big one. You send us a fifth one in the same month, we'll pay you $1,200 for that one. Folks, when you add it all up, that's an extra $3,000 in just 1 month by sending us 5 people who want to pay off their debt faster and easier. Look at that, and cheaper. Look at that, $3,000. And then you just start it over the next month. First one, 300, then 400, then 500, then 600, then 1,200. It starts over every month. So if you want to get in on this, make a little extra money, just by sharing a good thing, who else has done this anywhere else? Okay. This is what we're talking about. I want to thank you for that. So let's get back into it. We've been here since 7 o'clock. Okay. It is now 8:17. All right. You are in the P.I.L.L Method Club, the P.I.L.L Method House. On Sunday, we're going to come back and spend more time talking about 40-year loans and how you can build a cash value through permanent life insurance. We're going to combine the two ideas on Sunday. You don't want to miss it. But if you do, you will have the replays on Clubhouse, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. You'll have the replays there just in case you're not able to make it this Sunday. All right. But anyway, let's go ahead and continue our conversation. We've talked about prepayment of principal, isolating the principal amount, leverage, and liquidity. Listen, people are filling out that card already. I get a notification every time a new affiliate signs up. Okay. I just received it. Thank you very much. You know who you are. Okay. All right. So here's what we're talking. So we got a prepayment of principal, isolating the principal amount, leverage, and let's talk about liquidity. The second L, P.I.L.L method. What does it stand for? Liquidity talks about how you view your money. Liquidity means not just the money that you have in the bank. So Troy, if I have some cash value, that I have in my life insurance policy, how liquid is that? How liquid is that, my cash value? Is it tied up for years and I can't touch it? Troy, are you there? Maybe.
Yeah, I couldn't get when unmute. No, it's not. You probably could have it within a week, and and there's to get that money. There's no credit check. There's no background check to get that.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You mean I can borrow money against my life insurance policy? No credit check.
Yes, no credit check.
But my credit score doesn't matter.
Don't matter. Okay.
I at least have to have a job, right? I got to at least have a job.
No job required.
What? Come on, man. I can borrow money against my life insurance policy and I don't even need a job?
No employment required. No credit check required.
So listen, folks, we're going to be talking about all of that. Okay. So this is what I'm talking about, liquidity. You have money all around you, but we don't know how valuable it is because we only think about money is liquid if it's in our pocket or in the bank. Every single dollar available to you to spend is liquidity. If you have a line of credit, if you have a credit card, if you have cash value life insurance, if you have money in your pocket, if somebody is holding money for you in a shoebox somewhere under a mattress, all of that is liquidity. And if you look at the money the right way, you can leverage that liquidity that's going to save you money. Now, let's just say, I'm going to give you an example here of additional liquidity. All right. I've got some money in the bank. I've got this mortgage on the screen here. I'm going to give you an example of liquidity. I'm going to put up Brett Whistle again. We're going to put that on here. All right. And I've got, we're going to get that on the screen for you in just a second. Things are a little slower because our internet connection of where Kurt is a little slow. So it takes time for it for everything to link up. So I'm putting in a $10,000 credit card. I owe $10,000 at 27%. Okay. All credit cards are amortized over 240 months. Now, let me show you this. $10,000 at 27%. How does that make you feel when you see that? I got a credit card. My Visa is $10,000 and they're charging me 27% interest. How does that make you feel when you see that? Just tell me. Put it in the chat. Okay. How does it make you feel? Put it in. If you're watching us online, put it in the comment section. You see $10,000. They're charging you 27% interest. How does that make you feel? Good, bad, indifferent? What does it strike fear into the heart of man? You tell me. What's going on with that? Okay. So now let me show you what's really going on with that. All the financial experts, if you're new to the room and you want to see this, go to YouTube, search P.I.L.L Method, and you'll find our live and click on that so you can see what I'm putting on the screen. $10,000. All right, $10,000 at 27%. If all the financial gurus are telling you need to pay that off, go ahead and pay that off because that 27% is killing you. 27% a year really means 2.25% a month. 2.25% a month. So if you paid this card off today, you would only be saving 2.25% of the $10,000. That would be the interest charge. Let me show you what that becomes. $225. You pay that card off today. even at 27%, you will only save $225. So if you pay that off, remember, you have liquidity. That is, you borrowed Visa's money, and now it's time to pay Visa's money back. You have a choice. Let's say you have the choice of paying them back their $10,000 so you can avoid $225 in interest. Or because all of this money is liquid, this is Visa's money, I'm going to choose not to pay Visa this month. I'm going to choose to take their $10,000, Visa's $10,000, because it's liquidity, and put it on my mortgage instead, make the minimum payment to Visa, and give them their $225 they're looking for. But I'm going to take their money and put it on this mortgage. I need you to take a look at cumulative principal here. Let's scroll down. Scroll down. Boom. $10,000 applied to this loan knocks off 32 payments. 32 payments. That's about 2.5 years off this mortgage with that $10,000, and save $45,000 in interest. So here's the point I'm trying to make. All of this money is liquidity. All of this money is liquid. How you use other people's money can make a huge difference to you if you learn how to do the math or let somebody else do the math for you. I just showed you how you can ask yourself, do I want to pay Visa $225 to use their money and put it on my mortgage instead and save 45 grand in interest and knock off 32 payments I never have to make? You tell me. You tell me. Does it make sense? Does it make sense to make that move? In other words, what we're asking is, would you pay $225 for the ability to save $45,000 in interest you never have to pay? I'll pay you $225 in interest so I can take your money so I can save $45,000 in interest. Is that a good play? You tell me. You think about it. Ladies and gentlemen, all we're doing here is telling you what you need to know to get the basics of understanding prepayment of principal, isolating the principal amount, leverage, and liquidity, and take your extra money and apply it strategically to your loan when the program tells you to, and you can cut your interest cost on this loan by 75%. In other words, the bank is looking for $347,000, $347,514. If let's just say let's just divide that by 3. If I cut it by 75%, that means the bank is looking for $347,000. They're going to get $115,000 or less. My clients will actually pay less than this. We could probably get this down to $100,000 or $90,000. Okay. Give the bank that much money to get the same $300,000 house. And by strategically saving up the money and every few months placing a few $1,000s on the debt that we get out of the savings account, after building it up, pay this loan off in about 7 years. I just showed you how we could knock off nearly 3 years with some saved up money. What if we didn't do anything until we saved up that money again and place it on the debt? And then wait to build it up again and then place it on the debt. Wait to build it up again and place it on the debt. That's not taking any money away from your family. That's not taking any money away from your lifestyle. That is You're figuring out how much I'm going to spend on lifestyle. I'm going to figure out how much I'm spending on my bills. I'm figuring out how much I'm saving. All right. All of that is a part of my budget anyway. But any money that's left over after that, discretionary spending, put it in the bank. Don't just keep spending to be spending. Put it in the bank. Build it up and let our AI system tell you how long to leave it there and when to take it out and apply it to this debt. And knock off years, knock off months, knock off interest payments you never have to make, and pay somewhere between $90,000 and $110,000 in interest instead of the $347,000 the bank wants on this money. Wanda Geiger, from watching us on YouTube, says, brilliant. Brilliant. And listen, folks, all I'm trying to tell you is what I've learned over the years from looking at this thing a different way. I have ASD. Some of you may understand that as autism spectrum disorder. When I look at this amortization schedule, I see all of these things and more in this amortization schedule, and I'm just sharing it with you so that you can finally start learning the stuff we should have learned a long time ago. This should be taught at least in junior high. You should be learning how the banks make their money through interest starting in junior high, high school, college, wherever it is. You should be learning this. Do you know it's not taught anywhere? Our business is an education business. Our business is financial education. We just use technology to support the education. You're not going to get this education anywhere else. Are there other programs out there? Listen to me now, okay? Sometimes it seems like I'm angry. I just get excited. There are other programs out there that are cheaper than ours. You better believe it. Way cheaper. Some of them are actually free. But you will pay more in interest than you need to pay because no other program on the planet focuses on how to optimize interest savings. And it's the interest cost on these loans that is the main ingredient in keeping you in debt forever. The interest cost on the loan is the difference between paying off a $200,000 car in just 7 years and taking 30 years to pay off a $200,000 house. The way that they do the interest cost makes all of the difference. Our program not only shows you how to get out of debt, our program teaches you and your children how the whole system works. And stop looking at debt as a negative and start learning how you should look at it. It's called managing your credit. Manage your credit properly, and you can buy your house in about 7 years instead of 30. Then get another house, take the house you just bought, make it into a rental, get a nicer, bigger house, and have that rental money help you to pay off your next bigger house in even less time, a more expensive house in even less time. Let's say you could pay that one off in 5. Now you got 2 houses paid off. Are you going to stop there? Are you going to have 2 houses that are now rentals or short-term rentals and get a third nicer house? The possibilities are endless. You're gathering up all of this net worth, houses that are paid off, houses that are worth something, that in your retirement you can have money coming in from rents on paid off houses. And then when you want to get another house, then you just cash out refi on one of the houses and put down payments on like 5 or 6 more. Take a cash out refi on one of the houses and then buy 5 or 6 more. Put down payments on more houses with the cash out refi. Use that equity to build up a net worth for your family that's second to none. You can become your own private family bank. And one of these days, we're going to have a trust expert come into this room and show you how to set it up all on a trust and show you how you can legally avoid taxes through your trust. Even when you pass on, even when you die, your estate can pay 0 to very little tax because of how you set it up in your trust. Man, oh man, I can't wait to do a show when we bring a trust expert in to put all of this together. Trust, plus saving money and interest on your loans, plus building up cash value in life insurance, plus showing you all sorts of things you can do that you never knew how to do before with your money. Stop giving your money to the bank. Pay them less money and get more net worth for less money so that you can start building using compound interest to work for you and your family. And then truly, you'll start creating generational wealth. Listen, you can start anywhere at any time. It's a process that you can build up. I just need you to understand the basics of leveraging money. Think like a bank. Think like a bank. I'm going to look through here and see if I've got any questions at all. If you have a ticket, because you're in the club right now, if you have a ticket right now, that means that you're not a member of our house. Please join our house. Okay. All right. Click on my profile, scroll all the way down. All right. And you can see my house there. All right. And it's we have 2 houses. One is the P.I.L.L method, and the P.I.L.L method is the one that we're in now. The other one is the ice house. So we may just combine those. I got two houses that we may combine those, or we may have the ice house for different projects. I haven't made up my mind yet, but at least join the one that says the P.I.L.L method today. All right. And we'll let you in a little bit later on how to, then you can become a permanent member. And anytime we're putting up a show, you'll get notified. All right. Excellent. Folks, I want to thank everybody for being here today. All right. I'm looking in here. I see Ian Pedley. Ian, I was talking to some folks today from Australia today. All right. And early this morning. So 5 o'clock my time, 5 a.m. my time. I can't remember, be about 8 p.m. your time, I believe it was. I don't, I'd have to look it up. Since you asked me, Ian wants to know where were they in the country. Let me look it up, Ian, on a different screen because their information is private. Let me look it up since you asked. Okay, he wants to know where they were in the country. All right, I'll tell you. Looking up in a different screen. All right, and calendar. Here's the name. All right, and we'll look them up. And they live in, I don't have it. I don't have where they are in Australia. I'm sorry, didn't have it. I thought I had it listed, but I don't. But anywho, oh well, yeah. But if it helps, their area code, I don't think this is even their right number. I don't even have their right telephone number. Okay. But anyway. All right, folks. I wanted to just thank you for being here. We're going to be back here on Sunday. We're going to be back on Sunday. I'm going to look through our questions here, see if we have any other questions. All right. And Ian says Ice House was an Aussie rock band back in the 80s. Okay. All right. And I'm looking through here. I'm not seeing any other questions in the chat. But thank you for all of those who put something in the chat today. Thank you for everybody who's online who put in who posted a comment. We're going to hear from Dr. Eric Thomas before we go. So I'm going to get opportunity for Kurt to get that queued up. And be here on Sunday, folks, 9:30 Central. 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central, where we're going to be. Chris Haywood says, thank you. Thank you, Chris, for being here. We appreciate you. Chris is watching us on YouTube right now. So we'll be back on Sunday, 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central. If you miss it, the replays will be up, where we're going to go over the benefits of a 40-year mortgage. You're going to love it. We're going to do part 2 on that, benefits of a 40-year mortgage, because the FHA has some rumblings. They may make it more common than not. And there are some, and I believe there are some mortgage companies that are offering 40-year mortgages already, not just to real estate investors, not just to people who are getting their loans modified, but maybe getting that initial loan at a 40-year mortgage. I love a 40-year mortgage and pay it off. You can actually pay off a 40-year mortgage faster than you can pay off a 30-year. Yeah. And cheaper, faster and cheaper. It's amazing what a 40-year mortgage does to the numbers that we work with. And I'll be able to show you that. We're also going to talk about some cash value life insurance and some other things on Sunday. So let's go ahead and say goodbye to everyone. I'll check one more time for hands raised or questions. I don't see any. So we're going to say goodbye to everyone for now. And we'll be back here on Sunday. So let's hear from Dr. Eric Thomas, and we'll do our outro music. And I'll see everybody here on Sunday. Thank you for being here. Bye-bye. My name is Don Daniel, founder of P.I.L.L Method International, and our team created the most powerful money management, wealth building.
Listen to me, y'all. But one of his mentees took us through one of their programs, and I paid off my mortgage. But guess what happened? My marriage went to a whole nother level. And you know why? Because my wife is a security freak. And even when I blew up, my wife would be like, oh, you blew up, but how long is you gonna keep making this kind of money? I was like, I don't know, forever. She's like, you sure? Because I'm gonna keep my license as a nurse just in case you don't. So when I paid the house off, my boy was like, you ain't gotta do that, you can do this. But when I paid the house off using that program, it took the stress level all the way down for my wife because we no longer had a mortgage. Does that make sense? That thing that was coming every month, that was getting on her nerves, we didn't have that no more. And so she was at rest.